Write the vision and make it plain. I remember when everybody was using this scripture from Habakkuk 2:2 for their New Year's vision board parties. And so since vision board party season is upon us with the new year coming up, I figured now would be a good time to take a look at what Habakkuk 2:2 is actually talking about. Habakkuk was a prophet who was prophesying in Judah, so the southern kingdom, during a time when the Babylonian Empire was on the rise, so before the fall of Jerusalem. Chapter 1 of Habakkuk starts off with an oracle from the prophet. He is actually lamenting and asking God how long he has to cry out before God responds to the injustice that is rife within the land and the violence and the destruction. To which God then responds and says, "You're not going to believe this, but I'm actually raising up the Chaldeans or the Babylonians, a people who are feared, who are ruthless, and they sweep through nations." Then Habakkuk replies and asks the Lord why he would tolerate and be complicit in their wickedness, right? These are people who prey on and plunder others. They use others' resources to make themselves bigger, to increase their own rich and to build their empire. So Habakkuk is asking why God would tolerate this later on in chapter 1. So just to recap, Habakkuk starts off by complaining about how violent and destructive his own land is and how it's a burden to him. And then God responds by saying, well, get this, I'm bringing in a more destructive people, a people who will do more damage than is already being done. And so the prophet questions God. And that takes us to Habakkuk chapter 2. So at the beginning of this, Habakkuk has asked the question and he says, I'm going to wait and see what the response might be. To which God responds, write the vision and make it plain. And what is that vision? The vision is essentially that, okay, those people are having their heyday now and they're arrogant, but their time will come. I have this snippet from chapter 2, verses 6 through 8, but I highly recommend going back and reading chapters 1 and 2. I'll just read 8 here. Because you have plundered many nations, the peoples who are left will plunder you. For you have shed human blood. You have destroyed lands and cities and everyone in them. I share that to say, while it is cute to use this scripture for vision board parties and New Year planning, it's also important to know the context of the scriptures that we read, because we shouldn't just be taking scriptures and applying it to whatever context it is that we want. We should be taking the time to understand what circumstances actually inspired these things to be written.